Right now, you are in a space with me that most people never get to. 72 hours as we're moving through that space. And right now, we're 56 hours into this week's fast. And at this stage, this is where a lot of things go going on. This is where sometimes people give up. And you're here. And we want to talk about the switch from hunger to healing. What's really going on in our body? What's going on when our stomach is growling? When the mind is wondering about food, as mine has been this week. Your body kept saying, hey, aren't you supposed to be eating? But here's the thing. Right around this time, something incredible is happening in your body, and you are healing right now. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. If you're new to me, welcome to the channel. We educate, we empower, and we encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. That's right, which says that we're not allowing anything from outside or anything from inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We're showing up with our best selves, our best health, and our best plans for our life. Hey, whatever platform you're joining us from, thank you for coming through and being with us here on the show. We're going to do some exciting things. We've got some good conversation that we're going to have. I've got my monitors that we're going to take a look at here in just a minute. I've got my Keto Mojo and my Contour. And of course, right below me, that is my Dexcom Clarity Report, which we'll take a look to see what's been going on with my blood sugars over the last little bit. Thank you for coming through, whatever platform you're on, if that's LinkedIn or Twitch or Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. Thank you for being here. If you are joining us because you saw our content at your church, at your doctor's office, in some community center, or somewhere else, thank you for coming through, and thank you for hanging out with us. As you are coming and joining us on our channel, if you've been here before, or even if you're new, you will see that we've had some changes to the channel, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for you just a little bit so that you can see what's been going on. We have been intentionally redesigning. Right, so we're in, I don't want to call it spring cleaning because it's not spring, but we have been deliberately going about designing for you an experience that helps you as you are moving through the limitless living space, and as you are moving through our content. So on our YouTube channel, you'll see that we've redesigned that to be very simple for you when you come. Here is the show that we're doing right now as we are doing our 56-hour check-in. But right below that, there is it's a playlist that says Start Here, Reverse Diabetes, and Reclaim Your Health with Dr. Dwain Woode. Now, the title of the rest of that title may change, but you can always find where it says Start Here. That Start Here is always going to be there as we are pointing you to a place where you can jump in and you can get started as we're walking through this path together. Okay, so this is a curated list of videos that we've done that points you to the things that you need to know and things you need to be considering as you are improving your health. If you go into the playlist, into the description of the playlist, you will find a link down here for a free PDF that you could download that walks you through the process of going through those videos, and it helps you with some prompts and some exercises, some things that you need to do that you will help you as you move through the journey, move down the journey. Let me say it that way. Also, when you get that PDF, when you get that free download, what you will see is at the end of the download, there is a commitment statement that you get to sign. And it says, hey, I am taking charge of my health. Right, essentially, there are some other words that are in there, and you get to read that, you get to sign it, you put a date on it. I'm encouraging you, when you do that, go ahead and print it out, put it in a frame, put it on your wall, put it on your refrigerator, put it on your mirror, somewhere where you can see that you've made a commitment to your health and that you've made a decision to be healthy. Okay, so that's the first playlist that you will see. The other one that you will see is the one that says, let's get back over there, this week's videos. And so if you're coming to the channel, if you're coming here, you're showing up for the first time, or you are one of our regulars and you want to know, what are we doing this week? What is our topic for this week? What are the shows that we've been doing? You can get there and it says this week's videos. Now it says some other words down there. It says on Limitless Living with Dr. Dwain Woode, but you want to look for this week's videos. That is the list of videos that we have done as we've moved through our space over this week. And those will change on a weekly basis. We got our last meal that we ate prior to starting the fast. Of course, our flagship show that we did Monday, Dwain Woode MD Live. And of course, as we're walking through our various series, right now we're doing strength, strategy, and mindset. And you want to get over there and begin going through that process. All of the things that you see, all of the things that we're doing on the channel are with the intention of helping you as you are trying to plug in and you are trying to improve your metabolism. I don't want you to have to reinvent the wheel. So when you come, things are laid out very succinctly and simply for you. On the Dwain Woode MD website, things are streamlined there as well. So if you go to the website, I actually love this. I love this view. This is a guy who's standing on top of a mountain, and it's a panoramic view as he looks out and sees what is available, what's open, with this idea that freedom comes. Freedom comes when we install rhythm and alignment in our life. It says reclaim your rhythm, redefine your life. Welcome to Limitless Living, transforming health, mindset, and identity, one intentional step at a time. You scroll down on the website, you'll see a welcome video from me, welcome you to the website. And then down below it says, new here? Start here. So if you're new here, this is where you start. And this points you to the same things we just described on the YouTube channel. Right here, of course, it says start watching the videos. And this points you back to the videos that are on the YouTube channel that walks you through the Limitless Living journey. And then on the other side, if you click this button, you'll get to download that free PDF guide that we talked about that walks you through the process of going through limitless living. All right. So once again, we want you to be able to just jump in, plug in, and get started as quickly as you possibly can. All right. So all of that is there. Plug in. Let's do it. Let's do it. So let's go ahead now and let's take a look at blood sugars. And so here I am once again, 56 hours into this week's fast, and this is what my Freestyle Libre says that my blood sugar is. You'll see that number right there. Actually, let me do one thing here. You'll see that number there, 67, is what the Freestyle Libre is saying that my blood sugar is. And if you scroll down just a little from the 67, you see right about here, this is what my blood sugar has been. Now you'll notice that part of that graph is red and part of the graph is white. So the white part, the white squiggly part, is showing my blood sugar, and those are above 70. And then when it turns red, those are blood sugars that are below 70. If I put my finger on it, we can actually take a look at what the blood sugars have been. There's a 90. Right, as we go through the day, and that's about 9 a.m. this morning, and you'll see there that we probably started getting right at 70. We're straddling that line right about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and then went below 70, and we've continued below 70 here for the rest of the day. Now, I'm gonna point something out to you here in just a little while, but you'll see there that let's go back, right about here is where I hit the 24-hour mark, and right there the blood sugar was 70. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and let's take a look and see what the Dexcom is saying. And once again, the blood sugar right here is what the Dexcom is saying my blood sugar is. And then if I scroll down, here is the graph that shows what my blood sugar is. Now this one will give me a 24-hour view. So let's go ahead and let's grab this. And you see we were in the 80s. That's early this morning. And then right about here, 6 o'clock, we popped up into the hundreds. and back down, back down, back down to where we are right now. Now, one of the things that I do want to show, and I'm going to do this before we get over and see what my my ketones are, is I mentioned to you this idea of the toothpaste effect. Okay, a toothpaste effect. And so this morning, when I got up to go brush my teeth, I had run out of the toothpaste that I had gotten because I was trying it to see if it improved my ketones. And so, I don't know if you could see that. So this is, right, I don't know why I let it run out. And so I ended up going back to what I was doing before, which is this guy. Right? Now they're both the same product, they're both the same, actually no, they're not the same. So this one is this is Crest, and this one is Colgate. And so I ended up going back to this morning, and let's go back here. You'll see right in here, right? So we were in the 90s, and then we popped up, and we actually went up into the hundreds, okay? So we have one of our community members out there that's been talking about toothpaste as well, and so you see there is a definite effect there. So we'll see what my ketones are. I haven't checked them yet, so we'll see what they are here in just a little while. Okay. Let me go back here so you can see both at the same time. There you go. So that's so this is what I used this morning. This is what I was using last week, as I told you, last couple of weeks, and of course it's all done now. So I've got to go out and get some. So that did really make a difference. All right. So now let's go ahead and grab our monitors back. So I've got my Keto Mojo, and I've got the Contour, and let's grab our container. I'll need a strip for the Contour. Get that one in here, and then I need a brown for blood sugar, and I need a blue for ketones, and some Lancets. Get that back. All right, and let's go ahead and open up this one for this is blood sugar. Actually, let's go to this view so you can see. There we go. Get a little broader view. And at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and open this one up so I can just have it off to the side. And so here's my Lancet. Do you know I don't use a lancing device? So that's my needle right there. And just grab a finger and ow, 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 ow. And let's see, that should give me a good brisk drop, which it did. Get that started. Get the Contour going, and go ahead and drop in the comments. What do you think my ketones are going to be? All right, so 64 is what the Keto Mojo says. 65 is what the Contour says, and then right there is what my Dexcom says. And I'm going to get this ketone strip, or get that strip out. Go ahead and grab this and put that in there, and almost let that dry too much. Let's see. Let's make sure. Come on. Yep. I think that will work. All right. So what do you think? 56 hours of fasting. Let's see what that ketone shows up at, and it is 1.8. Okay, 1.8. So when we talk about ketones, and I'm gonna go over and grab the Keto Mojo app and see if we can get that to sync for us. All right, so when we talk about ketones, we want there we go, finished reading 2. We want our ketones to normal ketones are less than 0.5. I'm thinking about 2 things. So 1.9 is what my GKI is right now, with ketones of 1.8 and glucose of 64. So when we talk about ketones, you want ketones to be less than 0.5 if they're normal. or I shouldn't say if you want them to, but they are normal when they're less than 0.5. From 1.5 down to 0.5, or from 0.5 to 1.5, is considered nutritional ketosis, and then above that is considered therapeutic ketosis. And so right now, I'm above the nutritional ketosis, and so my ketones are now elevated, meaning that my blood sugars are no longer running my body. So when I see a low blood sugar, as you see right here, right, it's on the opposite side, right, so 64. When I see a low blood sugar, that doesn't concern me because my ketones are elevated. And that means that my body is no longer running on sugar, it is now running on ketones. And though that's what we want to see, if you're in a ketogenic diet, if you're on a fasting diet and you're looking to get into ketosis, or you're doing a fasting mimicking diet, all of those are designed to put us in the space of where our body is burning sugar. Okay, so we want to burn sugar, not burning sugar, we want to burn fat to create ketones. And when we switch from the sugar, then that's where this comes from. Now, one of the things that I've been asked before is when we look at ketones and we look at blood sugar, how is it that my blood sugar can be low and then go up if I've not eaten? And the reason for that is that even when your body is burning fat, like it is right now in my situation, even when it's burning fat, it still has the ability to convert some of that fat into sugar, right? Because it's a triglyceride. You guys have heard the phrase triglycerides. When your doctor checks your labs, you'll get one of those numbers. It's one of the numbers that's listed under the cholesterol. There's total cholesterol, there's triglycerides, there's LDL, there's HDL, there's VLDL, and some others that are there. But the triglyceride part, that number, those are the storage components for fat cells. And so when the body is breaking down fat, it breaks them into the triglycerides, and then it breaks the triglycerides apart. The tri part goes off, and that's what comes into the ketones. But then the glucose, or the glycerol part, gets turned into glucose, and that is sugar. So even when you don't eat, let me say that again. Even when you don't eat, your body still has the ability to create glucose from the fat cells that you have. And so when somebody says to me, "Well, I haven't eaten for, pick a number of hours, and my blood sugar is still high, or my blood sugar has not gone to zero," the answer is yes, it has not, because there it is. Okay. So when we look at these numbers, we want the GKI. That's that number in the middle. And let me scroll down just a little bit. You want that big number to be as low as possible. You want the glucose to be low, and you want the ketones to be high. And so the GKI simply is a ratio of glucose to ketones. And of course, if you're looking at that number, 64, 1.9, then you're like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't track, because 64 divided by 1.8 is not 1.9. So if I go, and we have to convert that, I have to remember those numbers, 64, 1.8. Let me grab my calculator. It's over here somewhere. All right, 64, I've got to convert that into international units by divided by 18, and that gives me 3.5, and then now I divide that by 1.8, and that gives me that number that you have, the 1.9, which is the big number that's in the middle of this view right here. Okay? Now let's take a look at the graphs. And so the graphs are very instructive, because the turquoise line, this line right here, that tan line is blood sugar, and then the turquoise line, the dotted line, those are ketones. So as my blood sugars are high, and right there is 105, and when I say high, I don't mean like 200, 300. When your blood sugar is not low, your body produces insulin. When the blood sugar is not low, the body produces insulin. When the blood sugar is low, the amount of insulin the body produces goes down. And so relatively speaking, a 105, right, there's insulin being produced to manage and keep that blood sugar down. So when that's the case, then the ketones down here are essentially in the normal range, because the body is not at that point burning fat. As the blood sugars go down, right, so 73, so lower, we'll see ketones go up. and ketones went to 1.4. And as those blood sugars go lower down here to 60, what was it? Let's do that one. 64, then the ketones get even higher, and there they are at 1.8, which is what we just saw. So remember, insulin and ketones can't be in the same space for long. So whenever insulin is there, ketones go away, and when the insulin begins going down, then ketones start coming up. And so the goal is for us to keep our ketones or keep our insulin low so that we can begin burning fat, and that's what's going on in the fat cells. Okay. All right. So while that's happening, and so if you got questions, go ahead and drop those in the comments with a Q in front of it, because we would love to get to those and begin answering those questions for you. And so let's go ahead now, and we're going to take a look at my actual Dexcom Clarity report. So we go ahead and pull that up so we can see what's been going on with blood sugars over the last several days. Okay. So here we are. Let's get that down. And so this is our Dexcom Clarity report. Get rid of this thing. All right, here we are. So this is my Dexcom Clarity report, which shows, and here's my blood sugar, my average blood sugar over the last 14 days, 107. We usually tell people we want their average blood sugar to be between 100 and 120. So that's right in keeping with where we want it to be. I'm in range 96% of the time, with the range being anywhere from 70 to 180. And my glucose management indicator is 5.9. So that is, if I were to get an A1C based on these blood sugars that have been going on over the last 14 days, then my A1C should approximate 5.9. I can't call it an A1C because it's a calculated number, but that's what I would expect it to be. If I look at this graph over the 90 days period, and because remember, A1C is a marker or measure of glucose over 90 days. So my average over the last 3 months, 90 days, is 113, in target 98% of the time, and my target is 70 to 180, and my glucose management indicator is a 6.0. Okay, and I mentioned that I recently got my lab work, and I'm seeing my doctor actually tomorrow, and I'm excited about the results that we will see. All right, so if I go here and we're looking at my daily graphs, and what I want to do is I'm going to go back to when we started our fast. Let's see. I'm going to go back to when we started our fast. So we need to make a change here. Not sure why that is. Here we go. Select 90 days. There we are. And for some reason it didn't sync. Let's see. For some reason it did not sync my glucose over the last several days. Interesting. All right. So we won't be able to see that view, but this goes back to what we saw on the Dexcom. Let's go back here for the last 24 hours. All right, for the last 24 hours, this is where we've been. All right, so the last 24 hours we've been in the 80s, and as I said to you right here, this is where we have that little toothpaste effect, and then we're back down into the 80s and 90s, and that is actually pretty good. So back to the toothpaste thing. So even though we used the toothpaste that was causing us those issues, it did not go up as high as it normally does. So I'm very excited about that we did not get that big spike. And then the other thing that I'm excited about is that the ketones were still elevated. If you remember, we started out with ketones yesterday at 1.4. Right, so 1.4 is where is where we had those ketones. And so that was exciting for me to see that the ketones are still elevated despite the fact that we did have that spike. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead, and I want to do a quick check-in because, as you know, this week has been a little different for me because this was one of those weeks where I did not do a good job of resting. And so earlier this week, or at least like yesterday, I mentioned to you that the food noise was a lot louder than it normally is because this week I did not do a good job as I came into the fast of resting. And so yesterday I came home and, as I walked by, actually not even then, I went to my wife's office and she was eating lunch. And I'm there. I was like, and what she had looked good. It smelled good. Of course, there are the social cues, and she's chewing and eating, and I'm like, ooh, that looks so good. Anyway, I left. Come home last night, and same thing. That the food noise was there, and as I mentioned, that is a big component that many people suffer from, and if we're not careful, then that food noise can derail what we do. So let me go ahead and let's do that check-in now. And the 3 places that I tend to talk about, and you hear me say this, these are things that you want to do when you're working on improving your health or working on improving anything. How am I doing? What are the metrics? What are the things that I'm going to look at to make sure that I'm doing or I'm getting the benefit? And so physically, mentally, and emotionally. Physically, obviously, I'm tired more than normal. And I actually, when I came home, my son and I work out 3 times a week together. So Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays. And so I came home, got home, and we went out and worked out. And I came in and get ready for the show, and I said, you know what, I need to take a nap. So I laid down right here on the floor, got a pillow, and took a nap right before we came here. And so resting so important. We'll talk more about this tomorrow when we do our full check-in. I'm not though feeling lightheaded, sweaty, dizzy, some of those other symptoms because I have been doing a good job of hydrating. You'll see me doing that continually. And I've been more intentional about doing that because I know that I'm not completely rested. So I've been more intentional about drinking. And so mentally, when we're not rested, then we can have effects on our mentation, on our thought process, maybe feeling a little more sluggish, a little bit more as though you have to think a bit harder. And that has not been so much the case, but I can tell. As a matter of fact, my team said to me this morning, because last night I got a little bit more, this morning when we were doing our team huddle, they said, yeah, you seem more energetic today. And so that does affect how you function through the day when you don't get good rest. And then emotionally, I was going to say surprisingly, but not surprisingly, but there are a lot of things that are going on with me, my family, in my life space. And so the excitement of all of that actually has been part of the reason that I've been able to continue processing or continue moving, because there's some energy that comes from the excitement that's going on with all the fun things that are going on with us. And so sometimes the emotions are responding to the fatigue and the mentation, and sometimes the emotions actually drive and can help support us as we are trying to be successful in that space. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna go say hello now to some of our community members. And so I see you out there. Let's say hello. Let's see. So we've got, I think, Bowie. Bowie says hi, everyone. Hey, Bowie, thank you for coming through and hanging out with us. Cornelia says, hi, Dr. Woode, Bowie, and the LLG. Gion says, hi, LLG. Gion says, hey, doctor. Hi to Gion from Cornelia. Hi, Bowie. Hi, Cornelia from Gion. And Gion is guessing a 2.8. And it wasn't a 2.8, Gion. We were 1.8, so we were off by 1 point. Steve is saying hello. And hi, Steve from Cornelia. Hi, Steve. Gian said, I assumed ketones a little high today. Yes. And then she says, great number, doctor. So yeah, excited about the number. We will spend some time probably next week, and I'm saying probably next week, and do a show where we actually walk through what my lab results are. Okay, so we have that meeting tomorrow, my appointment tomorrow with my physician, and so we'll spend some time walking through that with you. I'm hoping to do that next week. Okay, all right. So let's hop in and let's have our discussion about our show tonight and the topic that we are dealing with. And it is when we go from hunger to healing. Hunger to healing. So let's go ahead and let's do that right now. So at this point in our fast, particularly as we look at numbers where the blood sugar is low and we have ketones, then it's no longer about hunger. I'm saying it's no longer about hunger. Now you're thinking to yourself, I don't know about that because I feel hungry. Well, may I recommend or may I suggest that what you're feeling may be hunger, but it's not physical hunger. It is psychological hunger. Your stomach may be growling. Your mind is wandering to food. Your body is saying, hey, well, I see people eating. I know it's time to eat. This is what we normally do when this event is going on. We normally eat, but here's the thing. Here, something incredible is happening in the body. You are no longer just pushing through hunger. You are stepping into healing. It's not a hunger issue. It's a healing issue. And so that's what we're going to talk about, hunger and healing. And so let's talk a little bit about the science of shifts. The science of shifts. What's going on right now in the body as we are in this space. So here's what's going on. Your hunger hormone, ghrelin, starts to calm down. In fact, it is very calm. The strong waves of hunger have become fewer and they become farther between. That is physical hunger. We'll talk about psychological hunger in a minute. The body's fuel source has shifted. We're 56 hours in. Glucose has been replaced by ketones. And we know that because the blood sugars are low. We see that as we look at our monitors, as we are checking to look at, right? So we know blood sugars are low. We know that ketones are elevated because we see that when we're monitoring. The ketones are up, and that says that my body is in the process of burning fat. Blood sugar's low, ketones are high. That not only fuels your muscles, but it feeds your brain. Beta hydroxybutyrate, which is that ketone that comes out that the brain likes. Brain-derived natriuretic factor, which is like Miracle-Gro for the brain. That's there. My inflammation is going down. The inflammatory markers are dropping. Cellular repair is in process because autophagy is going. Things like that autophagy is kicking off and kicking into high gear. Even your insulin levels are down. So if we were to get insulin levels, if we were to check insulin, then the insulin would be lower because when the blood sugar is low, the body decreases the production of insulin. One of the things to understand is that even when blood sugars are in the normal range, then the body is producing insulin. Often we think that the blood sugar, oh, well, my blood sugar is normal, so the insulin is gone. No, in a normal blood sugar, with normal blood sugars, insulin is still there. It's not until the body sees a low blood sugar that the amount of insulin begins dropping. And in fact, if the blood sugar gets low enough, then the insulin pretty much gets turned off. But at 56 hours, with low blood sugars, with elevated ketones, I know my insulin is down. And this gives the cells a break from constant energy storage mode, and it puts them into the burning mode. This is when fasting stops feeling like deprivation and starts acting like a prescription. Oh, come on now. Come on. I want you to hear that. At this point, when all those things are happening, fasting is no longer, oh, you can't. But it now becomes, man, this is something that I'm taking, that I'm doing, that is helping me to be in the space of doing what my body needs at this moment. Think of the body as a machine, an incredible machine. And it's constantly going. We're constantly putting things in, constantly putting all this in, constantly eating, right? And if that's the case, then the body never gets a chance to rest. Now, many of us think, oh, we're resting when we're sleeping. Well, most of us, when we are going through our day, if we stop eating, say at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, great. But sometimes we snack or we drink something before we go to bed. So we're actually putting stuff in that the body still has to process. And so giving the body space to do what it needs to do, because the body is an incredible machine, it is capable of healing if we provide the right environment. So this is what's going on. And so physically, the body is all set. It's all set to do what it needs to do. And that's where we get, when we talk about the different things that fasting does. Fasting improves our insulin resistance. It causes weight to go down. It improves our blood sugars. It burns fat. And think about this. When the body has to burn the fat from the fat cells, it had to first deplete the liver from the sugar that's stored there. There's also fat stored in the sugar, and fat stored in the liver. Fatty liver? Yeah. So if I'm taking sugar out the liver, then the body also burns fat from the liver. So that's where this idea of, hey, improving my fatty liver comes from when it comes to fasting. When I fast, insulin goes down, so my appetite gets suppressed. So my hunger, which we're talking about, my hunger goes down. Those cravings begin to improve. Now, one of the crazes that is out there right now are what are called the GLP-1 receptor agonists. And GLP-1 receptor agonists are those medications that people are using for weight management. Okay? Now, they come in two different sets. There's a group that are currently now indicated for diabetes. So they are diabetic medications that have a side effect of weight loss. And then there's a group that's specifically marketed for weight loss, the GLP-1 receptor agonist. And the way they function is they decrease the production of sugar from the liver. They slow food as the food moves through your GI tract. It produces insulin from your pancreas if your body's able to make it. And it helps your muscles to use the insulin more effectively. Right? So those are the things that it does. As a side effect of these medications, people have lower hunger or lower appetite. It suppresses the appetite. And just like those medications, so does fasting. Okay, come on. I want you to hear me. So fasting suppresses the appetite. The GLP-1s suppress the appetite. You see that? So even when we are here in this space, we have, and this is the idea of fasting as a prescription. So it's not a, hey, I'm depriving myself. Oh, this thing can work like a prescription if we are mindful of how we do it. Okay? So that's the science of the shift. So now let's go ahead and let's talk about the mindset shift. So we've talked about the fact that physically my body has been primed. My body is ready. My hormones are telling me, hey, you're not hungry. But this is the space where a lot of people quit fasting because they think it's just about surviving hunger. But right now, your body is proving that fasting is about thriving in a different energy status. When you're here, you have now given yourself, your mind, you've now given your body, you've now given the people around you some evidence that fasting does not cause you to, people say, oh, I'm going to die, I'm going to be hungry. Here you are. This is where we flip the script. So you're not fighting your body anymore in this space. You're actually partnering with it. Because the body's ready. It's like, hey, I'm here. I'm with you. I got you. Everything is now primed. But now what begins happening is that this thing takes over. And if we're not careful, that is where we get into trouble. So once again, so you're not fighting the body. You're actually partnering with it. You want to say, come on, body. I know you're ready. Now I've got to work on my thought process. So you're not starving. I'm pausing right there. I'm stopping. You are not starving. Your stomach is growling. You may have some indigestion. You may have a headache. You may feel weak. But you are not starving. All of those things come because either we're not well rested or we're so used to having our stomach stretched that when the stomach is empty, or not even totally empty, but not as stretched as much, then we feel that and we sense that. We're like, oh, my stomach, I'm hungry. So my stomach is growling. No, empty stomachs growl. Not because you're hungry, they growl because there's nothing in them. We've gotten used to having stuff in it, so the body is producing that acid, and the acid doesn't stop right away. So when you start fasting, it's still producing the acid. It's not until you become used to fasting that it now says, oh, okay, I know she's not giving me any food right now, so I guess I don't need to produce that much insulin. That much acid. So you're not starving, you're strategically allowing your body to repair. You're allowing your body to reset. You're allowing your body to restore. You're giving it space to do what it needs to do. Fasting does that. You're no longer chasing short-term willpower. You're entering a rhythm your body is designed for. Once again, we are playing our own game. We're not chasing after the short term anymore. I'm going to will myself through this. Oh, if I can just get to the 23 hours and 59 minutes. This is why I say if you can make it here, you can make it further, because the game has changed. The body is now giving you all that you need to support you as you're moving through, and you're saying, okay, I want to be successful. I want to do the things I need to do to be healthy. The body's ready. It's there for you. Physically. Notice I keep making that distinction. Physically, your body's ready. So when we're fighting, what we're fighting is, we're fighting this. We won't spend time going through all of the heat model here, but the heat model tells us those places where we have, where those triggers are happening. Remember the triggers that we talk about? The heat, habits, emotions, access, and taste. Those are the things that push us to do and eat. Habits, emotions, access, and taste. The routines that we've gotten into that surround food. Everybody gets up to go to lunch and we're like, okay, let's go. Somebody comes to visit and you sit down and you have donuts, coffee, whatever it is, bagels. Why? Because that's what we do when people come. The emotions. We're angry. We're frustrated. We're bored. We're tired. We're sad. We're depressed. We're worried. Access, just having things around us. That's why I don't bring certain things in the house, because I know if they're there, I'm going to eat them. Yeah, and it's not that I don't have willpower. I'm going to eat them because they're there. And then taste, right? The perfect combination of sugar, salt, and fat. If I'm a manufacturer, I don't want you to just have one of my product. I want you to eat it, and I want you to love it so much that you say, I just can't have one, I'm coming back for more. And I want a repeat customer. So the taste drives us. Habits, emotions, access, and taste. Those are the triggers that cause us to eat when we're not hungry. So the question then becomes, is what do we focus on next? What should we be looking for? So from here, the goal is not to push harder. It's to stay steady. You say it again. It's not to push harder and will it. It's to stay steady. That's why we talk about rhythm, alignment, and structure. Because the structure that's there helps you keep going when the motivation goes away. Do you know why I didn't eat? Right? I'm tired. My mind is on food, or was on food. The smells are there. The cues, the visual cues are there. There's my wife. There's my son. There's my team. They're getting ready to go up. They're going to eat. I could smell it. It's that time. My internal clock says it's time to eat. Why didn't I eat? Because I was getting ready to go online to come talk to you. Why didn't I eat? Because I've got these monitors that I'm looking at. Why didn't I eat? Because I've got the mantras that I have on my phone. Why didn't I eat? Because I have a journal that I do. Why didn't I eat? Because I've got the friends who I pick up the phone and call and get distracted. Because there is a structure. Why didn't I eat? Because my team says to me, hey, Dr. Woode, you got one more day. You can do this. Because I've created in my environment a structure that supports me being successful. Because the motivation is gone. I'm tired. I don't want to have to make any more decisions. I've got decision fatigue. So the natural thing to do is to go with the path of least resistance, which is just grab something out of my wife's plate and eat it. So here we want to pay attention to our energy levels, because these are positive things. First, do we have a structure around us? Have we created that? You have to. And you can't create it in the middle of the struggle, because it's not going to work. I'll tell you that. Because if you wait until you get into the struggle to create the structure, you've already lost. That's kind of like putting the seatbelt on after you've had the accident. It's too late. You want to create that structure before. And then you want to look at the things that are going on in the fast. What is the fast giving you? Notice the mental clarity that comes. Notice the focus that comes from the ketones. Notice the craving patterns. See how they've already shifted, how they've already decreased from urgent, gotta eat, to, hey, man, it's been 6 hours and I haven't thought about food. Notice the mood and the focus. the calm you feel as you're going through the fast, that's chemistry working in your favor. Mm-hmm. And if that causes you to get excited, that's metabolism. That's metabolism healing. That's your thought about, oh, I'm doing something for myself. When I get out, when my son and I finish our workout, right? So we're guys, right? So we do, a fist bump, we do a chest bump, right? And I say to him, we do a cool down exercise at the end of the workout, right? So we do some centering exercise, we do some breathing, we do some grounding exercises, and we give a fist bump, do a chest bump, and I say to him, you've just done something good for your health and for your life. Good workout. Yeah. That helps to push us. So I came home today, he was doing homework. And I said, hey, you ready to work out? He says, yes. And so I went off and getting ready and got a little delay. And he said, hey, Daddy, let's go. So it now is a positive thing that we do. So he pushes me, I push him. When he's tired, I'm like, okay, come on, let's go for it. When I am off my schedule, he said, hey, Daddy, are we doing it today? Yesterday, actually, we did do it on Tuesday. He's like, okay, let's do it tomorrow. So what are the benefits that you're getting? And the brain loves that. Let those cues that you see, the positives that you're seeing, the alertness, the focus, the energy, the clarity, the emotional, I don't want to say elation, but the elevated emotion, let that cue you. Let that be a burst of dopamine. And that says I'm in the healing zone. That says I'm doing what I need to do for my health. So you started this journey thinking about hunger, wondering about hunger, being pushed by hunger. And now you know there's so much more that's waiting on the other side of a fast. At 56 hours, you're walking proof that the human body is designed to be resilient. It is designed to repair itself if we give it the right environment. Don't rush out of this moment. This is a precious moment. Stay steady, stay present. Remember that right now, every minute you continue is a mind change, is a mind shift, and is a minute that's invested in deep healing. This is where the magic is happening. So as you're pushing through, and the brain is going to send you all these messages, these signals, know that it's not the body. The body's like, I got you. I'm with you. Let's do this. Let's partner together. It is that mind and the things that we need to adjust there that make a big difference. Because the body says, I'm moving. I'm already done with hunger. Right now, I'm right into healing. So I got you. Come on, let's do it together. We continue walking down the path of limitless living. The health action plan, fasting, amazing tool in that process. Use it. You will see amazing, tremendous benefits as you are working to reverse your diabetes, improve your health, get off of medication, get your metabolism righted, get those blood sugars down, get the blood pressure down, get the A1C down, get the cholesterol down, working on your weight. All of that happens when we fast. And fasting is an amazing tool. That's why we do what we do, because we want to be able to use this tool to the best and the most efficient way that we can. Stay by. And so for those of you who are out there right now and you are fasting, if this is your first week fasting, know that you've made a decision that will be a tremendous benefit as you move into the future. If this is your first time. If you've been fasting and somehow you got off track, you've not lost the battle. Understand that your body's ready. We just now have to say, okay, let's do it together. That's why we do the check-ins. That's why we provide the space for you to come so that you can work with the community. And we are all in this together. You hear me. I talk about my food noise. I talk about my Cadburys. All of that happens in community. And if you've been fasting and you're having successes, understand that your success is great, but share that with everybody else so that they understand and they can see, well, if you can do it, man, I can do that as well. All that we do, everything I do here is based on our Triple E formula for success. We educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the shows, with the blogs, with the podcasts. We've got our Limitless Living health series that's going on right now that we have in some of the churches, physician offices. We're getting that message out there. Limitless Living on the Go, which you've not seen yet, which is coming. Education. How do we transform our mind? Because it's no longer a body thing. We've proven that. It is now, how do we change our perspective? How do we change our thoughts? How do we go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? How do we understand what resilience is and what consistency is and what the benefit is of small changes over time? We empower with the tools that we're learning. The health action plan, balanced bites, the heat model, the COPE model. All of those are tools that allows you to implement the things that we're learning. The channel, the YouTube channel, the streamlined version of the YouTube channel, the streamlined version of the website that allows you to jump in and plug in and say, okay, I'm going down this path. Where do I go? Start here. Boom, there it is. What are they doing this week? This week's videos. Come along, let's do it together. And we encourage with the community that you are part of, the community that continues to push, continues to support, that continues to say, okay, I'm doing this, I'm having some successes, I'm doing this, I'm having some challenges, I'm doing this, I need some support. The community. We educate, we empower, we encourage. If you are ready to jump in and to make sure that you're not on that hamster wheel continually, some starts and some stops and going forward and then backwards and jumping into that cycle and then getting frustrated and giving up and then finally coming back and on and on and on, join our accelerator program. Go to the website right down below where it says watch the videos. You'll see the accelerator program, learn more, get more information. Come join us as we continue in the process of being healthy. The accelerator is the vehicle where we put all of this together so we can install it in your life as a solid operating system that's not going to be here and today and gone tomorrow, that allows you the possibility of getting where you need to go. So we're not in the process of blood sugar control. I'm going to say that. We're not blood sugar controllers. We're not weight managers. We're not blood pressure managers. We're not fatty liver fixers. All of those things are side effects of what we do. The blood sugar will go down. The A1C gets better. The weight drops. The fatty liver improves. The high blood pressure gets better. The cholesterol goes down. Why? Because they are side effects of the fact that you are now becoming healthy. And that's the idea behind play your own game. That it's not about that number, but it's about the ultimate thing that we want. The ultimate goal. And the ultimate goal is, how do we keep you alive as long as possible and keep you as healthy as possible? That's the goal. so that you're around for your children and your grandchildren, so you could romp on the ground with them. When they want to run, you could run, and you don't have to worry that your weight is so much that you can't keep up with them, or that you have a bad back or bad knees, or that you've had a stroke or a heart attack, so that you can be around for that trip that you guys have been planning. You've been working all this time for all these years, and now that you're getting ready to retire, you're wondering, am I going to be able to? Because now my health is not where it needs to be. So that you can be around to walk that daughter down the aisle. So you can be around to see that son graduate. So that you can be around to teach the grands how to fish. So that you can avoid the possibility of isolation because you can't get around and you've got to wait for people to come get you to take you out. That's what we're about. Those numbers, the improvements that we see, those are side effects. And imagine if we now fix our vision on being healthy, and the side effects are the things we're talking about. Those are just side effects. Man, what does it look like when we're healthy? If those are just side effects, my blood sugar is down, my weight's down, my cholesterol is down, my blood pressure is down, I'm off medication. Those are just side effects, y'all, of being healthy. Come on, bring healthy to me. So come join us as we walk this path together. It's an amazing process, amazing place for you to be as we are walking through the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. I am always excited when I get to hang out with you. We've got a lot of things going on in the channel, on the website, here in our space, and all of it is designed to allow you to plug in. You don't have to rehash, remake, redesign the wheel. Come to the website, join us on our 100-day walk to consistency. Join us for strength, strategy, and mindset. Join us as we do our check-ins, as we start fasting. We start fasting together. You get to see exactly what I'm eating for my last meal. You get to see me and see me walk through the process of fasting as we go through the 72 hours. You get to see what I'm eating for the first meal after my fast. We get to do that all together. We're walking through the path together. This is what gives sustained change. And I'm so excited that I'm here with you. All of you who are out there who are visiting with us, if this is your first time, thank you for coming through. For our regulars and for our members, always excited to see you be in the space. Tomorrow we'll have our check-in and we'll do our complete review, how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast and what goes on in our body, and then of course, how do we break the fast. You get to see what I eat for the first time in 72 hours. Get to see that. Saturday night, we'll be back for Video from the Vault. On Sunday morning, right here for This Week in Review. And then Monday, we'll be back for Dwain Woode, MD Live, as we continue walking down this path to be healthy and for limitless living. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Woode with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And I am going to hop back over. I want to say hi to some of our community members, just to say hello. And I did see someone before we sign off. Let's do that right now. And I see Jennifer. Jennifer came through. Jennifer says, howdy all. Grandkids tucked in, so I'm here now. Happy day. Gian says, hi, Jennifer. Jennifer says, hello, Gian. And she said, good for you, Jennifer. But I did want to do that before we signed off to let you know, Jennifer, that we are excited to see you in this space. And Cornelia and Steve and Gian and Bowie and all of you and those of you who are out there. Let me say this. I've got two encouragements. Number one, when you come, I want you to jump in and get involved. Your story, your challenges, your successes are just what other people need to know. When they see the successes you're having, then they get to say, hey, if they can do it, then I can do it as well. Tell us your challenges, because your challenges are probably questions that other people have. The Health Action Plan is named that by design. It's health action. That's an action. The things that we learn, great, but your behavior powers, right? That's what it says, limitless living, powered by the new you. You power the things that we do. It is the you that you bring that's the driving force. It is the you that you bring that we're working on improving. It is the you that you bring that infuses everything with the ability to be successful. It's the you that you bring. And limitless living says that we're not allowing anything from outside or anything from inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We're showing up with our best selves, our best health, and our best plans. Meaning we're showing up just like we are. You don't have to go and get better to walk the path. It also says, though, triple E formula for success. We educate, we empower, we encourage. It also says, though, that when I get better, when I get benefit, when I see improvement, I've got to help my community get better. There are people in your home, people on your job, people on your church, in your neighborhood, people everywhere you go that right now need to know that they don't have to continue down the path of poor health. And you get to say to them, hey, there's a different way. Point them to Start Here playlist. Bring them, say, hey, let's walk through this series together. Hey, let's learn about Balanced Bites. Let's walk through that process. Build a community. Build a community at your church, at your house. Take one of the series and say, hey, let's watch this together. Let's walk through this. Download the PDF. If you're sitting at a church and you're part of the health ministry right now, this is a great thing for you. All the videos are there. Over 1 billion people on the planet right now at this moment, who are suffering from prediabetes and diabetes. And countless numbers of others have had heart attacks or are predisposed to heart attacks, have had strokes, have had amputations, have had vision problems and gone blind, are on dialysis, are having neuropathy and having balance issues, are now confined to homes because their mobility is down. You get to say, we don't have to keep doing it like this. And that's the power of what you're learning and the power of what you can do in your space. We're playing our own game. Part of our game is how do we install this in our lives? And how do we help people around us to know that there can be a different way of doing things? Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. It says we're not allowing anything from outside or inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We're showing up with our best self, our best health, and our best plans, and we are going to be successful. Now go live a limitless life. We'll see you tomorrow as we do our check-in and as we move through the rest of the week. And then, of course, Monday, Dwain Woode MD, live right here in this space. Good night, everybody.